Welcome to Silicon Valley, one of the most amazing places in the world. In this video, we're going to talk about how much it costs to live here. But before we start, I'm going to tell you a story. Back in 2015, I was back in Russia in St. Petersburg in an apartment that we rented for $700. It was a one-bedroom apartment very close to the city center. Linguatrip got investment from Silicon Valley, so we were about to move here. And I'm like, okay, if a one-bedroom apartment in St. Petersburg costs $700, then in the US, Silicon Valley must be expensive, maybe like $1,000. And I go on Airbnb and I start scrolling through the listings, and the only listing I found for $1,500 was an RV. And my first thought was Airbnb is overpriced, maybe it's just another scam online. And I thought, okay, I'll come to Silicon Valley and figure it out. This video is for you guys, for all of you who are willing to come to Silicon Valley and build your dream here. We're gonna talk about how much it costs to rent here, how much it costs to buy groceries, buy your everyday items, drink coffee at Starbucks, eat at McDonald's. So if you're interested, continue watching this video. One of the biggest expenses in Silicon Valley is renting a house or renting an apartment. We came to Silicon Valley back in 2015 as a couple without kids. We were not married back then. And we had this whole journey from renting a room, sharing our apartment with our co-founder, renting an apartment in San Francisco, and subletting a room. And now we have 2 kids and we rented a big house. The house costs $7,500 a month. I would say this is on the higher end because you can rent apartment for a lot cheaper price, and we're gonna see an apartment today. The surprising thing in the US for me as a foreigner was that location determines everything. If your house is in a good neighborhood, that means you have great schools that are free, you have great police, you have low crime rates, you have a place where you want to live. And you can find the exact same house, but in a worse neighborhood, and then you will encounter all the issues. So you're actually paying not for the house itself, you're paying for what is surrounding this house. And this is why we made a choice to rent a more expensive home, but feel safer, I guess. And just a lot of friends are here, and we live in Los Altos Hills, which is a great area because you can go to Palo Alto in 20 minutes, you can go to San Jose, you can go to San Francisco. So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and still you can get to places where you need to go for work very fast. And another expense that we're not including in our final calculation is childcare. But you should know that if you have a child who's younger than 4 years old, you would need to pay for childcare yourself, which is around $2,500 to $3,300 a month. The thing is, when you're renting an apartment, you open an app and you're like, wow, it looks amazing. There is the pool, there's everything. But when you visit, there might be a smelly carpet. The people around, like the neighbors, might not be too friendly, because there are places where people just come and go, so there are no friendships. But there are places where you come and right away people want to make friends with you. So if you're coming to Silicon Valley from somewhere else, I would highly advise you to stay in a hotel for maybe the first couple weeks, and then just go and see the apartments yourself. You would just get a feeling of the neighborhood, and this is really what makes a great apartment or a great house. You don't really pay for walls, you don't pay for the swimming pool, whatever. You actually pay for the environment, and this whole notion applies to Silicon Valley. You come here because you want to be among these people who are changing the world and building the future. If you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, I really want to live in Silicon Valley, I really want to be able to pitch my startup to these amazing investors and amazing people, but you're like, how do I do that? The thing is, when you come to Silicon Valley, even if you can afford staying here, even if you find someone who lets you stay for free, it's really hard to get to those people if you know no one. Because cold emails is a good idea, but a lot of investors get hundreds of emails every single day. So one of the routes that a lot of entrepreneurs take is go through an accelerator, but I wanted to tell you about an even easier way. It's 2021, so things are getting better, and I wanted to tell you about a company called ClearCo, and they're sponsoring this video. ClearCo is the largest e-commerce investor in the world. They've already invested $2 billion into more than 4,500 companies. The thing is, there won't be any pitching process. This is, by the way, something that I really hated, like pitching your company over and over again. So you don't do that with ClearCo. They use AI to identify high growth opportunities, and they take less than 24 hours to make decision about funding your company. Through their Clear Capital product, they provide you growth capital for your business without taking any equity, so you keep 100% ownership and control. ClearCo provides founders with fair and fast capital and guidance needed to scale their business. ClearCo's partner ecosystem includes the world's best agencies, tech integrations, platform services, and more to help you grow at any stage of the sales funnel. If you're an entrepreneur looking for funding, make sure to check out the link below. I think it's almost impossible to live in Silicon Valley without a car. It costs around $400 to $500 a month to lease something popular like a Toyota or a Honda, and then you pay around $70 for your car insurance. Gas really depends on how much you travel, but I would say $200 a month. Let me talk about some other expenses while we're driving. Health insurance. So here it really depends. If you are coming here because you got an offer from a big company like Google or Facebook, they're gonna take care of your insurance and your family's insurance. But if you're self-employed like me, then you're gonna have to take care of yourself. And on average, people pay around, I would say, $400 a month for insurance. We pay around $700 a month per person. Because I had so much trouble with my previous insurance, I ended up paying like $10,000 for a standard delivery, and I thought I want to get the best insurance just so I don't have to pay a lot out of pocket if something happens. If you live in an apartment complex, a lot of things are taken care of by your management company. So when we lived in an apartment, the only expense we had in addition to our rent was PG&E, electricity and gas, and that was around $20 a month. Now that we live in a house, we have to pay for a lot of things. We pay for trash, which is $90 a quarter, $30 a month. We pay for water around $120 a month, and then PG&E has become a huge bill because we use air conditioning, we use heating, and that costs around $250 a month. Again, depends on the month really. Oh, internet, $90 a month if you want a good, stable and fast, reliable connection. This narrative that started a year and a half ago that this is the end of Silicon Valley, no need to be here, everything is online, everybody's moving out, everyone's going to Florida, and people are living in the United States. In reality, something like that happened temporarily. So some people left, some people who came here to work for Facebook and Google and other companies suddenly realized they could live in another state and it would be cheaper, so they left. But I actually see a different trend right now. People are coming back because some offices are reopening at a lower capacity, but still. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a fan of remote work, but I also understand that nothing can replace in-person meetings. Nothing can be better than just sitting down with your team or with your friends and chat about everything that's happening in the world. And the thing is, things are getting back offline in the Bay Area. We're back to having parties, we're back to having in-person meetings, I'm back to having my in-person interviews, and that just feels amazing. People are coming back, and my friend lives in an apartment where we are right now. This is a typical Silicon Valley apartment in Mountain View. This is a good neighborhood with good schools. And the thing is, they have like 100 apartments here, and they only have 2 left. In the morning, I called the manager of an apartment complex where we used to live back in 2015, because I'm still friends with her. And I was like, can I make a video about a typical Mountain View apartment? And she was like, Marina, I'm sorry, but we don't have anything right now. We might have availability in September, but I cannot guarantee. So the thing is, people are back, people are moving in, people are renting apartments, there are lines to get into restaurants, there are lines to get into cafes. This is something you have to get used to when you're in Silicon Valley. Wow. So this apartment costs around $3,100 a month. You pay $50 extra for internet, you pay $50 PG&E, water and trash are around $100 a month. My friend also has a cat, and that costs $50 a month just to have a cat in your apartment. Whatever. The benefit of living in an apartment complex is that you also get facilities. You have your swimming pool taken care of, that's included in rent, and you get a gym. Another thing that I realized in the US is that a lot of people have life insurance, and on average you pay $50 a month for life insurance. Sometimes a bigger company, like if you work for a company, they would take care of it, but again, if you're self-employed, you take care of everything. And a lot of people in America have their own CPA, have their own lawyer, and again, depending on how many accounts you have, how many companies you have, I would say at least $200 a year for a CPA who would help you with your annual taxes. In my case, it's thousands just because I have a lot of stuff going on. We came to one of the most popular grocery stores in the US, I would say, and this is like a middle price range. We have Whole Foods that's super expensive, we have Trader Joe's, which is average, we have Safeway, which is also average, but in Safeway you can just get a lot of different goods that you can get all over the world, so you can just have this comparison. They have Coca-Cola, like all kinds of stuff, shampoo, toothpaste, and you also get milk, chicken, eggs, whatever. Getting some ham. $1.59, my favorite pasta. Instant oatmeal, $3.29. Tea for $3.79 for 20 bags. Shampoo, $4.99. This is what I would buy normally when I go grocery shopping. I would buy a little more because we're a family of 6 right now because my parents are with me. But I think this is quite representative of what people get when they do their grocery shopping. Let's go and check out and see how much we're gonna pay, because they're gonna add extra tax on some items at the cashier. $2.95 was my Americano. So I think a little too much because I normally drink an espresso coffee, which turns out to be 70 cents per cup at home. And Graham Stephan would tell you that even that is too expensive with his 10-cent coffee. So my total today is $111, and I also get an $11 discount because I'm a member at Safeway. You can get this membership when you check out. The thing is, I try to be kind of average, but in Silicon Valley there are so many options. You can go to Costco, one of my favorite stores, and buy things in bulk that will last you years if you buy this huge bag of rice that they sell there. You could also go to Whole Foods. You could go to farmers markets, the most expensive grocery shopping I've done here in Silicon Valley. So I try to be objective. I try to show you average. I don't know whether that was successful, but at least you have some idea of what the price level here is in terms of everyday groceries. Now, we're going to my favorite restaurant, McDonald's. There's this Big Mac rating that tells you how expensive the country is based on Big Mac's price. And we're gonna see how much Big Mac costs in Silicon Valley. Life hack, when you order a Big Mac in McDonald's, you can ask for extra sauce. Just makes it more moist. Anyways, it was a $8.99 meal with a Big Mac and then extra $1.99 for my strawberry milkshake. In a country where I come from in Russia, McDonald's is the super popular restaurant. And the last time I've been there, we opened the door and the line started. A lot of people dined there. And maybe it's also because that McDonald's was in a big city. But here, a couple of people in line, a couple people sitting, and a lot of people taking to go in their cars. But yeah, here we go. I'm sorry everyone who is on a diet right now, but this is one of my favorite meals. I'm so excited. Manicure, I don't know if you like it, but there are a lot of different places where you can get it. Again, $25, $35. I once had a girl she's Russian, and she's amazing. Like, by the way, if you want to get some beauty services, I would highly recommend Russian ladies are the best. They just know the real quality of those services. And I had a Russian girl come over for a manicure, and I think she charged maybe like $60, and she came to my place. She gave me a manicure. I think it was also pedicure. So really good rates, and you can find everything on Yelp. If you were looking for something fancy, I'm gonna tell you a story. My husband gave me a gift. There is this Rosewood Hotel here in Silicon Valley. It's really famous for all the investor meetings. A lot of VC deals are happening in that place, and there are also those, I don't know, special Thursday. I've never been there, but there are special Thursdays when ladies come and meet men. I don't know if it sounds a little weird, but this is what I heard of. I've never done that, but we've been there for lunch, and as I mentioned, my husband gave me a massage certificate to get a prenatal massage. So I went there, and when it was time to pay, I realized I forgot my gift card, and they told me to pay myself, and I paid $340 for a 90-minute session. This is something like, if you're thinking luxury Silicon Valley reaches people, this is where you go. We had friends who told us, you know, try their gym. Their gym is amazing. They have the swimming pool. They have the best facilities. And we're like, maybe that's a good idea. So we called them and asked, how much is the gym membership? And they told us $15,000 a year. I was like, let me talk to my husband about that. Thank you. I think that's too much. I think well, it's kind of a club. Yes, you get this exclusive access to one of the best hotels in Silicon Valley. But I thought $15,000 is a little too much, so I opted for free YouTube videos, and I got myself a mat, and I'm training outside because Silicon Valley climate is amazing. Summer weather lasts from May to October, so you can train outside. My husband loves to run outside, and it's just this amazing place where you can enjoy your workouts in the open air. If you want to go to a yoga place, one class will cost from $20 to $30. If you want to get a blow dry your hair, $40 to $60. Again, really depends on where you go. Oh, I'm talking about the haircuts. My haircut normally costs around $90 in a kind of upscale place in Los Altos, but on average you would pay from $40 to $60 if you're going to like good place. Okay, let's calculate how much it costs to live in Silicon Valley. As you can see, Silicon Valley is not a cheap place, but I call this place Disneyland for entrepreneurs because I can't think of a better place to grow your company out of, because every day you're able to meet people who started an idea, it grew America-wide, and then it just conquered the whole world. I hope this video was useful for you guys, and you're gonna sit down and calculate how much money you need to raise for your idea to move here, or what kind of offer you need to get from a big company to live in Silicon Valley. I hope it inspired you to create bigger things. I hope it inspired you to explore different places around the globe to help you bring your ideas to life. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. If you're not yet subscribed to Silicon Valley Girl, the red button is down below. See you soon in my next vlogs. Bye bye.